Hello everybody, Bill Platt here, and I just want to give you a quick run through of what you're going to find within the KD Research program. This is software that I've put together for the express purpose of helping book authors better position their books in the Amazon marketplace. So what I've got set up here, I do have 4 tools currently set up within the system that are going to help you be able to determine what categories to place your books in, what keywords to use when placing your books in those categories, in some of those categories. And then I'm going to show you also historical data as far as the ranking of particular books and the prices of those particular books. So let me take you through real quick. The first one we're going to go to is Amazon KDP ebook categories. Now, what I've done here is you come in here and you can either look globally, or which is the standard, or you could do subcategories only or subcategory path. Now, the difference there is subcategory is the category you're looking in. The path is how you got to that category. So what we're looking for here is keywords that are similar to the topic of our book. So let's type in romance, and we'll see what you have here is the category name in this column, and here is the path in this column. So that kind of gives you an idea of what's going to change if you do the path only or the category only. But what's going to show you here is all the different categories within the Amazon marketplace in the Kindle ebooks that apply to romance. So there are literally, 90 different categories in which you might want to place your book inside the Kindle store if you've written a romance novel. Now, or a romance book, any romance stories. Now, where that is pertinent to you is that maybe you're going to do better in what happens is, like, let's do this. Let's do superhero, which is one word, by the way, in the Amazon system. And we'll take a look for that. And so we've got 7 categories that apply to superheroes. Now, some of these categories, if you go here and you just click on this, it'll show you what types of what's actually in that category. So with this one, we're looking at comic type related books that have pictures in them, and that's what you're going to find in the category. It's more like comic books than stories. But then there are other categories which would be more appropriate if you've written a novel instead of a graphic cartoon. Then you could go to like the science fiction fantasy and look at the books within that category. So here we get to look, and we are talking about real books here because Stephen King, Dark Tower, is the first book in this category. Game of Thrones is also here. So these are actual stories. They're actual novels instead of comic books. And so it's important that you understand going into it what the distinction is for all these different categories. You can even click on the superhero category here and look at what's in that particular subcategory. And we can click on superhero here under science fiction fantasy, and we can see what books are coming up in this category. And this helps you determine which is the best category to place your book within the Amazon Kindle marketplace. And there are so many choices. With superhero, if you have like a novel and you're putting it into the one with the graphic coloring books, then nobody's going to pay attention to your book because it's not what they expect there. They expect to see the comic books, and here you are with the novel. So you need to be in the right category to be able to talk to the right audiences. And this is a tool that's going to give you that capability. My software has gone in and categorized every single category within the Amazon Kindle bookstore. There are approximately 5,400 categories within the Kindle marketplace. I've also got a tool for the print marketplace. Again, it's the same setup, except that there are nearly 15,000 categories inside the Amazon print books. So when you come in here, and we'll do the superhero again just for fun, and do a quick search, and then it's going to show you all the categories inside print books that apply to superheroes. And in this case, there's 14 different categories that apply to print books that address superhero content. And you've got to, if you're writing a novel, you'll want to avoid the graphic novels and go straight for those that are related to novels, so that you're talking to the right audience when you place your book into an Amazon category. And to be honest, a lot of us, what we'll do is we'll go into Amazon, then we'll start navigating through the categories about where to place our books, and then we'll decide on the one that looks most similar to what we want, but may not be at all what we want. So that's why this tool is here, to enable you to have the tools and resources to do the proper research to figure out which categories you should be placing your books inside the Amazon store. Now, the third search tool is required keyword search, and this is broken down by USA and UK on the global side, or US only or UK only. And where that really applies is, like, we go into paranormal and do a search, and these are categories within Amazon where if you want to get your book into this category, you have to use a specific keyword when you're typing in your keywords. So we've got the paranormal. In this version of the paranormal category, psychics, if you type in paranormal but you type in the word psychics, you're not getting into the category, because you have to use the word psychic without S to be automatically placed in that category. So this kind of gives you some insight on what keywords you need to choose when you're putting together your book into a category. And there's only 770 categories that are impacted this way. But if you're trying to get into the psychic category, paranormal, suspense, psychics category, and you type in the word psychics but not the word psychic, then you're not getting into that category. You will actually have to contact Amazon technicians and let them know, hey, I think my book actually belongs in this category. Can you put there? And they will go in and manually turn you on for this category. But you could have done it automatically if you'd used the right keywords when you listed your book. So that's what that tool is for. And then we've got this is the one that's kind of blowing everybody away. I've got a sample ISBN here that we can type in, and we're using ISBN 10 or the ASIN number of a particular book. And then we're going to track it. We can track it via .com, .uk, .ca, or all track domains. And you can do a historical on 6 months, 12 months, 24 months. So let's just do an Amazon.com search, and then we're going to track 12 months for this particular ISBN number. Now, like I said, it works with the ISBN 10, and it works with the ASIN number of particular books, but it will not work with the ISBN 13. And one more point to make about this works with print books, but does not work with Kindle books. So we come in here and we type in our ISBN, then we start the search, and what we get in return is a graph. And this graph will show us what this particular book did. And this particular book happens to be a coloring book, the one that kind of blazed the trail in the coloring books for adults market. It's The Secret Garden by, I can't remember her name right now. But this is her book, and you can see the graph shows the price of the book in orange and the sales rank of the book in green. The book is currently ranked at 1963 in the Amazon store. But at one time, it was like right here in November of 2016, it was one of the top 10 books inside the Amazon store. And it's dropped off over the last year or so, and it's gone down a couple times, gone up in the rankings a couple times, but now it's pretty much falling off. But you can see what she's done historically on the prices for this particular book. So for most of the lifetime of this book, it was priced in the $9.43 range. And then she jumped it up to almost $13. Then she dropped it back down. And then she moved it back up and down and up. And then she went up to $13 and about 25 cents. And then since then, she's dropped down to a steady price of just over $10 for this book, or just at $10 for her book. But you can look at this historical data, and it can tell you so much more than any other tool you use within this website, because you can look back to 24 months ago. In fact, let's do that. Let's go ahead and look at 24 months back on this particular book. And we're going to bring up that data. And see, at the beginning of the process, 2 years ago, she was bouncing it between $9 and $10.50. And back in those early days, she was right down there at the top of the Amazon sales rank list. So she dropped off after, looks like summer of 2016, it started falling off. And then right at Christmas, it dropped back down for a little bit, and then went up again. And that's probably Black Friday weekend right there. And then at Christmas right here, she's almost at the top of the rankings again. And then since then, she's dropped off considerably. But this gives you some real insight into what's happening within the Amazon marketplace with particular books. Like I said, this only applies to print books. It does not apply to Kindle books, which is, I wish it were to have Kindle books, but it doesn't have Kindle books. But we can still use this print book statistics to glean from the data some very important information about where we should place our books inside the Amazon website, but also how we should price our books. And this information is just invaluable to anybody who uses it. So you can come in here and take a ISBN number from a book fairly similar to your own, put it in this tool, get the data back, and start analyzing that data, looking for opportunities for your books. And the opportunity might be, like with this big peak in price right here, at this time, her sales were fairly consistent down the path, even though she had a much higher sales price on the book than was normal. So she was making an extra $3 to $4 per title during this time period of approximately February 2017 through July of 2017. So that entire quarter there, she was making an average of $3 to $4 per book more than what she was making when the book is priced lower. Okay? So this is invaluable data. And this is why people who have bought the KD Research membership program, and I've got it priced so that it's by the year. So instead of asking you to pay something a little bit every month, it's set up at a fairly low price so that you can get it for an annual rate. So you pay once and then you won't pay again until next year. And come next year, and you'll lock in whatever the current price is right now. Whatever the current price is right now is what you'll pay next year when it renews. So scroll down to the bottom of this page. If you think this information will be absolutely valuable to you in setting up your book publishing business and figuring out where to price your books and what categories to place your books into, then scroll down to the bottom of the page and get an annual membership on this program. And then if you get the annual subscription, you're locked into that price forever. If you get the annual program where it's just 1 year, there's no guarantee that you're going to lock in that price for next year. So go ahead and scroll down to the bottom of the page, make your selection, decide what you want, and then get in here and start picking apart this data and figuring out how you can make it more useful for your own book publishing business. Thank you very much. I'm Bill Platt. Until next time.